Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. Today is Monday. It is already April 26th. Technically, we are in May already as far as commissions go. So good morning. My name is Keely. I'm excited to be here with you today as your host. We've got a couple of quick announcements to go through. Our quote of the day today is, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend." I really love this quote. All right, we've got our dates for Leaders Retreat. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico this year for our Leaders Retreat. This is going to be August 20th through the 24th. Make sure you mark your calendar. If you are not yet 1-star, 3-star, or 5-star, do whatever you need to do to make that happen. Get your marketing going. And we will see you in Cabo. We've got our Renatus Founders Live today at 4 p.m. It's every Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time through the Facebook page, Renatus Founders Live. This is our opportunity on a weekly basis to not only connect with the entire nation, but we also get to connect with our CEO, Bob Snyder. We get to hear about any important announcements the company might have, some recognition of who is out there making big things happen in their business, as well as a training of the week and a story of the week. So make sure you are tuning in to the Founders Live. It's always fun to be there live when the presentation's happening. But of course, if you can't make it at 4 o'clock, then always catch the replay. National study groups are happening every Monday night. Right now, we are making our way through the essentials courses, and that is at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. The Tamaras Helix app has a lot of great features to it. This is something that's somewhat new, so we want to make sure and announce it to any of you who may not be aware of it yet. The Tamaras Helix app you can download in your App Store or your Google Play Store, and that is has a lot of really great features. Some of the features are that you can watch your classes through the app. So say you're on the go, you can pull up a class through the app and watch it that way. You can always stream whatever is streaming live at the time. If it's a corporate intensive or perhaps national, something like that, you can always stream that live through the app. And then one of my other favorite features is that you're notified whenever a guest is checked into an event, as well as when you have a commission paid. So lots of really great features there. We have lots of daily and weekly support here with Team Elevate. So very grateful for all that we have to help us with our businesses. A couple of the things that we've got going on are the weekly private capital masterclass. The weekly private capital masterclass is every Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Our facilitator for that class for the mastermind is Dane Clark. Dane has had a lot of success with building private capital for his business, everything he learned from our classes in Renatus. And so if you are newer or you've been around for a while, we would love it if you could join us and share your wins, share any success you've had with building for your business, as well as if you're newer, this is a great way to start having conversations or to start understanding how you can start to have those conversations to build private capital for your business. We've got our dream call, the Daily Real Estate Action Mastermind. That is every day, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till about 10 o'clock. We talk all things real estate investing. So again, whether you're newer or you've been around for a while, come to the mastermind, share your experience, share your knowledge, help other people with starting to have those conversations for those who are newer, who maybe haven't taken much action yet or haven't gotten into their first deal yet. This is a great way to start to get some solid action steps planted so that you can start to really move forward in your business and get some deals under your belt. And then we've got our daily team call that we're on right now. It's Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 Mountain Time, where we talk all things marketing. We talk about business, mindset, and personal development. I love these morning calls. We provide so much value. So very grateful for these calls. The optional event subscription is something that we do ask that you're a part of to attend both the Dream Call as well as the Private Capital Masterclass, the OES. You can join the OES through this website here, www.oesoes.com. There's also a short video on the website that Michael Huggins put together that talks about what the OES is, how that helps the leadership team, and how that helps you with your businesses. So make sure to check out that video at the very least. Every Tuesday, you are you have the opportunity to introduce your guests to the Profits Education. A great way to do that is to get them in front of Scott Rowe. Scott Rowe does an intro presentation every Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can find that in the Helios calendar. Please make sure that you register both yourself and your guests. Just pull up the calendar, type in Profits in the search bar, and you'll see this pop up on Tuesday evenings. Every Wednesday, we have our virtual house tour. If you are in the Salt Lake City area, that is typically where we have these tours. You are more than welcome to join those live in person. And of course, anyone else across the nation, you can join through the virtual platform. Zoom is what we've been using. And to please register for this, you can go to Helios, type in Laura Black. Laura Black is the host of these meetings, so that's how you can find them in the calendar. Please get registered, and of course, register your guests. And these are such a powerful, powerful exposure for your guests because they get to see what is being done currently in today's market. They get to see multiple different classes being put to use for one deal, lots of different acquisition strategies, and a lot of different exit strategies, and some really incredible profits. So make sure that you're building for these tours each and every week and getting your guests in front of these tours. Every Thursday, we've got lots going on. We've got our corporate onboarding session that happens at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We have our another house tour on Thursdays in Spanish. So every Wednesday it is in English, and every Thursday we have a house tour in Spanish. That is at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And then at 7 o'clock as well, we have our Pillars of Wealth intro presentation. Bill Predabon has been doing a fantastic job at doing an introductory presentation for our Renatus education. So make sure, again, you're building for the Pillars of Wealth intro presentation each and every Thursday. Also at 7 o'clock, we've got a couple of study groups, our multifamily study group and short-term rentals. And then it's at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, we have our Velocity Banking study group with Richie. So do make sure you are tuning into whichever event fits your business most, fits what your goals are. And we will see you on Thursday nights. We do record these calls. We have a couple of places where you can find the calls. We are on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Our Facebook page is Renatus Team Elevate, where we have a lot of important announcements. You can network with the team, ask questions, share your wins, and then of course catch these recordings on the Facebook page. And then you can also find these recordings on our YouTube channel, which is Elevate Renatus. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then we also have an entire playlist of interviews. They are called our Zoom Up interviews. So just type in Zoom Up when you go to our YouTube channel, and you'll see over 100 interviews where they're only about 20 minutes long, but we have interviews of different individuals from across the nation where we ask them how they got started with Renatus, where they were before, and what they've been able to accomplish. So you can share those interviews with your guests. Really powerful way to get them introduced to Renatus as well. All right, so today is Money Monday. We've got a special guest speaker with us today, Tamara Book. I'm very excited for what Tamara has planned for us today. But before we introduce Tamara, we are going to shift over to our money mastery exercise. We'll go through that short video together and then take a couple of minutes at the end to do the call to action. So let's go ahead and shift over.
This woman used a fake name to hide her true identity as a
Today is Money Monday. We've got a special guest speaker with us today, Tamara Book. Tamara Book is the beautiful and amazing individual whom I've gotten fortunate enough to get to know a little bit over the last couple of years as we've both been working here in Renatus. And Tamara is a part of the PIT team. She is a PAC in training, which is President's Advisory Council. And Tamara was working in the fashion and entertainment industry, and she loved what she was doing. However, she found herself working really long hours, and she was achieving someone else's goals, not having time to work on her own goals. And since joining Renatus, she has been living life on her terms. She gets to travel when and where she wants. She has rentals, and she's done a few flips. She's been a money lender on a few deals, and we are very fortunate to get to learn from Miss Tamara today. Good morning, Tamara. How are you?
Morning, Keels. I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today, especially on short notice. Really, really appreciate you, Tamara.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So this is a little bit impromptu, and I just got back from the gym, so I apologize. I'm a little Jimmy right now, but I am so excited for the opportunity to be here. I absolutely love spending time with everyone. And it's always awesome. Keely just kicks everything off with such grace every morning with us. So, it's a great way to kick off the day. Now, as I was kind of, brainstorming what I was going to do on this training, I've had a really big realization lately about where I am in my business and where I'm not in my business. So I figured I would kind of share that with you guys. So unfortunately, I don't have slides, but one of the things that we're going to talk about are goal setting. So I found this little blurb. Goal setting involves the development of an action plan designed in order to motivate and guide a person or group toward a goal. Goals are more deliberate than desired and momentary intentions. Therefore, setting goals means that a person has committed thought, emotion, and behavior towards attaining the goal. Now, I've always been very goal oriented. Part of that might come from being an athlete. I don't know, but I've always been goal oriented. So for me, when I have in my mind a goal to set, then as an athlete, I'll use this as an example. As an athlete, I've always known how to maneuver or achieve the goals. So for example, I got injured my junior year, my sophomore year, and I played softball through high school, and it required me to come back. So every single day, literally, there was not a day. I don't believe I ever missed a day of getting my shoulder back to where it needed to be so I could play the next year. I was there, literally in my backyard, in the gym. It didn't matter. I was determined to hit this goal, right? So as an athlete, I found that I could always maneuver or do what I needed to do, kind of excel my efforts or scale back my efforts, whatever, to achieve my goals. And I find that's very similar to business, right? If we have a goal, an income goal as an ICM to hit, let's say we want to hit our PIT numbers and $75,000, we can scale it up, or our efforts up, and our efforts down, right? Would you guys agree with that? Or maybe we want to get more real estate deals. Maybe we want to watch more of our classes. Whatever it is, we can scale it up or scale it down. So for me, our efforts are directly correlated with our results, right? So we had a PIT call the other day, and I think I saw Bill Predabon on here. I had a very big realization. It was actually something that came from Michael, that as to why I wasn't hitting my goals. And it was such a slap in the face. I don't think I've been this angry at myself, not at anyone else, in a very long time. I was furious, and I continue to be furious because I realized the goals that I wanted to achieve, I wasn't hitting them because of myself, because of the efforts that I have, how I was spending my time. And here's the funny thing, I didn't even realize it. So for example, social media, it's been a huge distraction for me. But when Michael and actually it was Bill that said something, it made me realize, crap, because of my own efforts, I'm not hitting my goals. So I immediately, like, something just clicked, and I just, I've gotten off social media for the past few days, and now moving forward, I have a plan. Notice I said I have a plan. So I'm basically I'm not giving up social media, but I am completely changing my habits. And listen to the words I'm using. I'm changing my habits around social media. So it only benefits my goals. It only aligns with my goals in business, my goals in life. And if not, it's out. I'm not spending my time or energy with it. And, I'm so grateful I did that. I'm really grateful. I don't know how Michael got me so mad. He did it in such a nice job. He did it in such a nice manner. No one has got me that mad in such a nice way. So I'm really grateful for that. Sometimes we need that wake up call. But and I'm so grateful because the last few days I've had so much more clarity. I'll tell you another thing, you know, I don't know if you guys have watched Social Dilemma, but you know, Facebook, all these social media things are really designed to, excuse me, but F with your mind. They really track, you know, your brain waves and they track how much time you spend on different things, et cetera, et cetera. And I was really roped into it so much more than I realized. So I've gone on a little bit of a detox now over the past few days. And I've gotten a lot more clarity on my goals, why I'm not achieving my goals, what I need to replace, the time, like the time I used to spend scrolling on Facebook. Now, the way I justified it in my mind prior to realizing this was I have made money off of Facebook. I've gotten leads off of Facebook. I have gotten deals off of Facebook. So in my mind, it was justified, right? That it was okay that I was spending my time on here. What was not okay was how much time I was wasting on there and scrolling on there, you know. So since I've cut it out over the past few days, I've been able to replace that time with good habits, and get a lot more clarity because it was just fuzzy. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it was creating a little bit of a fog in my mind because I was spending so much time on my phone. So if you guys haven't taken a break from social media, I would encourage you to do that because it's really, really good. It's really beneficial. So that being said, that's what's going on in my life. My question to you guys is, how many people, we're all ICMs on here, how many people are hitting your goals as an ICM? If you're hitting your goals as an ICM, type a 1 in the chat. Or yeah, how many people, let's just say, if you're, just give me feedback. Are you hitting your goals as ICMs? Not even close. No, 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 not even close. Not yet. I am not. No, so frustrated. Yes, I have none. Okay, so the majority of what no, everything I'm seeing is no. So my question to you guys is, why are you not hitting your goals? Why are you not hitting your goals as ICMs? And feel free to come off mute, you know, whatever, you know, you're most comfortable with. But I want to hear from people. Why are you not hitting your goals?
I'd say that I'm overcoming getting in my own way. I think that was one of the biggest things. It's Steve, by the way.
Okay, hey Steve.
So yeah, so basically, I feel like I was getting on my own way. I was justifying why I wasn't taking action. Basically, for example, I would blame COVID for not being able to go out and meet people. I would blame the fact that I just moved for not going out and meet people. So those are things that I get to justify why I'm not doing the things that I need to do to make it happen. But since then, I've been taking steps and actions to change that. So those were the past, and now I'm moving towards the direction which will then get me to those results that I'm looking for.
All right, Steve, can you be a little bit more specific? Like, I was very specific. I said I was wasting time on Facebook. And like, what is that? Like, what would you say that one reason? Well, give me one reason why you feel what were you justifying? Like,
I wasn't going out and meet people. That's one thing. And then I wasn't using social media or any other medium that I have access to make new connections. So the fact that I was stuck at home, I used that as a way of saying that, okay, I'm not meeting new people and I'm not reaching out to the people that I have on my phone also. So those were the things that I was doing. And then also I stayed away from all the events that could help me move forward.
So, okay, so moving forward now, the internet is like a double-edged sword, right? It can be your best friend or your worst enemy depending on how you use it.
Mhm.
Okay, so what moving forward, what habits are you going to replace? What action steps are you going to take? You know, we've got the world at our fingertips essentially with the internet, as long as we use it productively. But what steps are you taking moving forward, and do
Been
you have a clear cut plan? I mean, goals take planning, right? You have to, you know, sit down, and this is kind of another training that I would have to have a little bit more time, but what kind of you know, what are your plans moving forward? What habits are you going to replace with what you said, you just told me, like not meeting new people moving forward, so that it does get you closer to your goals?
So I've been hosting meetups, hosting meetings, and trying to get new connections. And then also I've been attending other people meetups as well. So that way I'm exposed to different circles. And one of the things I'm starting to do now is going to in-person networking events that are available near me. So that's those are the things that I'm doing to meet new people.
Okay. Good. Okay, good. So it sounds like you kind of realigned yourself with what you were doing, and moving forward, you replaced kind of the bad habits or the excuses with action steps,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Cool. All right, good. Let's hear from someone else. All right. Not all haven't marketed since August. Frank, why haven't you marketed since August? Frank, oh, would you like to come off mute? Not many in-person events here on the East Coast. Jen, where are you in the East Coast? You don't need in-person events to meet people these days. I mean, there's
Yeah, I
endless.
know that. Yeah, hi. I'm in New York. I'm attending everything I possibly can that is being offered via Zoom, all these different daily trainings in the evening, things on the weekend. So I've gotten more momentum in myself. I'm doing things that are being recommended by going on LinkedIn and trying to make connections and searching for people that way. I'm getting leads from my 1 star and calling down a whole page of people and not getting any response. And I'm doing that several times a week. So I'm not sure what else I need to be doing differently right now.
And these leads, well, let's break that down for a second. These leads that you're contacting, are these people you've been in touch with? Did you introduce yourself to them as a, you know, as an ICM, not as an ICM, but do they understand your intention, and what was the relationship built with the ICM? I mean,
They
with
are,
the, sorry, the
yeah,
guest.
they're leads that are being generated um, where they're putting their information, they're putting their contact info in for more information. So me contacting them is something that, whether they realize they put in their information at 1 o'clock in the morning or not, they're not responding. So I'm not sure. They're leads that are coming off of a system being generated from people showing interest.
You've called these leads, you've texted them,
I
how have you
was
contacted them?
actually calling because I started with just emailing. I was getting a lot of emails back because then it was showing as spam. So then I started doing texting, and last week I started actually doing phone calls, and I got one person who was living with the person who put in the information, and then he's like, what email do you have? How did you get her information? That's not her email. The other information's correct. And it was a whole conversation that was not in the direction that I wanted it to go.
Okay. Well, my next question is what maybe it's the lead generation source that you're using. Maybe it's not attracting the right people. Maybe it's what you're writing in the body of the ad. It could be a combination of things.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know who your 5-star is, but I would recommend getting back with your 5-star, walking them through your process. How long have you been doing all this? What you just walked me through?
I've been actively doing it for probably the last 5 weeks or so.
Okay, so it's not a short amount of time. Like you've been doing it every week on a,
Yes,
and that's the same response that you've gotten.
yes. So I don't want to
Okay,
get frustrated, and I'm trying to think of other things. I'm looking into getting signs done and drop cards and hoping that maybe that will increase some interest.
I would also recommend looking at the bot, like whatever the person is RSVPing to, like what message you're conveying to them. Like my ads are very clear. Like someone will reach out to you. That's like you make sure your intentions are outlined very specifically in the body of the ad or whatever it is that people are RSVPing to. So I would say get back with your 5-star, assess the ad. Are you texting people as well?
I've been texting as well. Yes.
And how many leads would you say you're getting on a weekly basis?
I have been getting probably, I want to say 30 to 40.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a good amount of leads.
Yes,
And
I thought so too.
so I would assess two things. I would assess the message that you're conveying to people in the body of the ads, the action steps, the call to action to action. That it, and maybe have your 5-star go over that with you. So maybe it's that, and also that's why we also recommend doing multiple avenues of advertising. Like I think Scott has said it, like 5 to 7. So you're on the right track. But it sounds like you have something good in place if you're generating 40 leads, 30 to 40 leads a week. It's just, it might need a little tweak, right? Maybe,
Yes,
so I would assess that, go back to your 5-star, assess that, and make sure that you're delivering the right message and action
message.
steps in the
Okay,
body of the ad.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, you're on the right track with the other leads. All right. So other lead revenue sources. So okay, good. So who else? Who else? Anyone want to come off of mute? Hold on. Getting.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Robert.
Good morning, Robert. I thought I know that voice.
Yeah, it's me. Good morning, everybody. All right, so I found that my time is very limited. So something I've done this week to focus. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Darren Hardy. He does something like that focuses on a couple goals, and it's very like one thing focused. So I've planned that out, and I've also planned out my week because I realized if you have blank space in your schedule, you don't really get much done. So this week I have it all put into my calendar and ready to roll because I found like, oh, what do I do next when I get home and get a few minutes after work? So I've been very focused, been able to send out a lot of texts, been very specific, and have something in mind when I get a minute to sit down without my family, what I'm going to do. So that has helped, and I could definitely see some traction coming from it. It's just now I'm starting to get leads and how to follow up and how I need to start scheduling that time to nurture those and get them, fam them up and get them rolling to the next step. So there's a lot of interested people through those texts. And then it's just filtering and being able to work through those. So I feel a good momentum and definitely setting the schedule out and leaving the devil's vortex in its own little corner. If it's anything that's wasting my time, I delete it. So.
Yeah, and Robert, you brought up a really good point that I was going to hit. Goal planning, right? Our mind can only handle a certain amount of good decisions per day. And after that, it kind of whoop. So
Goes by the wayside.
yeah, exactly. So when you have a schedule, when you schedule out your time and kind of map out your day ahead of time, that's one less decision your brain has to make. So like that's the thing about having schedules, right? If you just have a schedule, you don't have to decide, all right, I'm done in an hour. Well, how am I gonna fill up my time with this next hour, right? If you already have a schedule planned and mapped out, you don't have to think about it, right? You just go from, all right, well, this call is over at 11 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So I know right after this, I'm going into my emails for the next 30 minutes. Right after that, I'm going into making calls, but I don't have to figure it out, in 15 minutes. Oh, what am I going to do for the next hour? Because you already have it mapped out. So great point, Robert. And Robert's on my team, so I happen to know his situation. I mean, he's got two beautiful baby girls, but they're under, I think if I remember correctly, under 2 years
2.5,
old.
and one's about to turn 1. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got his hands full and still a full-time job. So Robert does a great job at scheduling his time out. So he knows, all right, well, I have a break between 1 and 1:30. I'm going to send out 10 text messages. But, when you when you already have it on the schedule, that's one less thing you have to think about. So that really helps with your goals, right? Because when you have a plan, and that's the other thing about goals, you have to have a specific plan so that life happens, things pop up, people,
Yep.
And if you are focused on your goals, you're able to say no to stuff so you don't get distracted. One of the things I liked about that quote that I read earlier was, therefore, setting goals means that a person has committed through emotion and behavior towards attaining goals, towards thought, emotion, and behavior towards attaining goals. There's so much more science behind goals. I've really been working on a lot of different things over the past few weeks. And I didn't realize there's so many more things. I've been working on manifesting, whenever I'm not hitting my goals, for me, it's like, all right, I got to assess what's going on. So, there's a lot more science that goes into hitting goals, right? Whether it's and that little sentence sums it up: committed through thought, emotion, and behavior towards attaining the goals. Your emotions, like, you can't let in bad energy, bad thoughts. They will deter you from hitting your goals. They will. The world is always trying to distract us, right? Most of the time it's negative. Most of the time it's something that's going to distract us. Facebook, for me, has been a great example. It has really distracted me. I'll leave it at that. So when we have a plan leading up to achieving our goals, it makes it easier when we're conscious, when we're doing things intentionally. I love that word, intention, doing things intentionally. It makes it easier to say no to things. Like, I used to, I'm a very extroverted person. I like social person. I like being out and about, but I've had to say no to a lot of those things because they don't align with my goals. So learning to say no to different things, to different situations, different people, that's one of the things you have to make a conscious decision. Like, is this decision, if I go to the beach for the day on Sunday, going to align with my goals? Now, that being said, we have to make time for the fun stuff. But if you had plans to watch your classes and then someone invites you to the beach or invites you to go do whatever, if it doesn't align with your goals, then you got to say no, right? It's sacrificing the short-term gratification for the long-term goals, right? So good. So Robert, in my perspective, you're pretty on par. You're pretty on top of things in terms of achieving your goals. Did you have something else you were going to, like, is there something that we can do to help you get closer to your goals, or were you just coming out to comment on stuff?
Yeah, just to kind of say, like, something that I've done too, and it's kind of a transformation. I take Sundays off from touching the phone. So I leave it in my bedroom. And that's when I do the scheduling for the week. And it's like just that change has set my mindset to be ready to roll. So I just wanted to share with that. Something else I heard in the new course that we got, the online sales, just in time learning, that was something, a nugget for me that caught my attention, because I was trying to go through so much education, but now I'm figuring out like what is a better specific thing to work on it within the education, so that I'm not trying to learn everything, like just knowing and taking the book off the shelf that I need at that moment, so I can build the business from there. And then with the Facebook and social media, I've been starting to time. So on my Apple Watch, I put like 5 minutes of engagement just for the social media. That way I'm not, as soon as that alarm goes off, 5 minutes or 10 minutes for each category. So adding new Facebook groups, commenting and liking, and adding new friends, each of those, it kind of breaks down and makes things a lot more specific, and lets me know like, hey, it's time to get off social media. So just been an awesome weekend with my family, and I just wanted to share some things that's been setting my mind straight for it. So
Awesome, great contribution, thank you. And you know, one of the things I realized as I've gotten more clarity, because I'm not wasting time on my phone over the past few days, is I lost my train of thought for a second, but I will say that Keely just brought up a great point. So I'm studying this book right now. I keep sharing it with my team and people in general. It's one of the best, hands down, the best books I've ever read when it comes to understanding your thoughts, your emotions, how you can kind of control them more. And it really breaks down the science of manifesting. It is called Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires. It's by Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. It's one of, hands down, the best thing I've ever read when it comes to really manifesting. And it kind of just goes along with what I'm doing right now, because it is like the distractions, I've let go of the distractions to create new space in my head so I can focus on the things that I actually want to manifest in my life and my business and my goals and so forth. So I would highly recommend everyone reading that book. It's 8 hours, but you can zoom through it. I mean, I've gone slow, I've repeated stuff. You can go through it probably in half the time if you do the fast make it go faster thing button, whatever it's called. But highly recommend that book. Where was I going? So, all right, that thought will come back to me. But in the interim, what else? Why are there so many no's? I'm not achieving my goals in Renata's. Who else would like to come out? Let me see if I can go through some. Being pulled in many directions. Laura, I know that feeling. Unfortunately, way too well. And part of being pulled in too many directions, I feel is some of that is just the name of the game of an entrepreneur, because there's always going to be stuff you can do. There's, you could spend all your time focusing on things that never get done. One of the things I had to learn recently, which I think I kind of, I'm sharing my mistakes with you because I hope you guys learn them quicker than I did, is delegation. I never wanted to delegate because I just was concerned that things wouldn't get done, whatever reason. So I recently hired an assistant. It was the best thing I could have done. Feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm being pulled in so many directions anymore, right? So sometimes I think it was Grant Cardone, I heard him say, or Jim Rohn, that if someone can do it 70% of what you can do, the way you can do it, then delegate it, right? So to me, that means sending out emails. That means sending out text messages. Someone can do it as good as you can, or 70% of the, up to 70% of the way you do it, then delegate it, right? So I think that delegation will help. And it also comes down to knowing what your skill set, right? I know I'm a closer. I'm good at getting people to move from event to event. And I'm just a good closer. That's just my skill set. I love doing that. I love answering objections like that. That's what I'm good at, right? The admin stuff, I am not good at. I get lost in the minutia. I get distracted. I get frustrated. So I now delegate it to my assistant, and it's been liberating. I don't feel like I'm constantly having to go do stuff now. I finally feel like, again, I freed up some space in my brain so I can actually focus on some of the stuff I'm good at or that I want to learn. So I would say learn to delegate, or just start delegating a little bit more, and you'd be surprised. You can get like, and systems. I know systems have always been a work in progress for me. I'm so grateful for what Eric Counts put together with our smart system, because it's taken off a lot of stuff on my plate, and now I can rely on systems to do some of the stuff I was doing, like text messaging, emailing, reaching out to, I think I have like 4,000 leads that I've dropped the ball on, some because I just move on to next leads, but now the smart system has re-engaged people. So does that help, Laura? I mean, I don't know, does that help? Cool. Anything else? Laura, feel free to come off mute. We've got 6 more minutes. We can probably get 2 more people in. Why else do we feel like we're not hitting our goals as ICMs? Trying to go through some of these comments. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Getting enough leads into the system. That's another one. Oh, Laura, that's you again. Is that why you feel getting enough leads into the system? Laura, is that why you feel, and then we'll go to Pat. Laura, is that why you feel, Laura, are you still on?
Doesn't look like she's on.
Huh?
It does not look like Laura is on right now.
Oh, okay. Then we will not answer her question. My day job takes a lot of my time. All right, Patricia M. My question to you about your day job. Is it something, someone told me that once, and I literally walked through their schedule with them. I was doing a training, I think, for someone in the Hawaii team. So I had her literally walk me through her day, and I said, "Well, we'll just say it's Joanne. Well, Joanne, walk me through your schedule." And what I found when she walked me through her schedule, literally walked me through her schedule, was there's a lot of places where she could overlap her Renata's business and her day job without conflict. So now, not everyone can do that. So my question to you is, can you do that? Are there areas in your life, and it literally only takes 15 minutes sometimes, like literally you go on your lunch break, and it's being intentional with your time. It all goes back to that. Like with her lunch break, we went out and we put drop cards out, and she's in a great location where we just went out all over this mall and put out drop cards only in 15 minutes, right? So you'd be surprised walking to work. Like for me, when I used to take the subway, anywhere you go, going to the grocery store, put drop cards. Like you can intertwine lead generation into your day. You don't have to sit down and schedule time. You just have to be creative about it. Just have to, think, where can I overlap my Renata's business with what I'm already doing in my day, right? Because a lot of times you can overlap things, but people just don't realize it. So I would challenge you, Pat, to go over your schedule, and feel free to reach out to me. I actually really like doing this for people. And we can go over your schedule and figure out if there's places where you can overlap it. So you're not setting out a lot of time, to do stuff with the business, but or figure out maybe 15-minute segments, maybe 30-minute segments where you can start to inquire more of your business time. And I'll have to say, I'll give Patrick, who just came, I mean, Robert, a shout out, he does a really good job. His schedule is pretty demanding. And he's always finding ways of integrating the marketing business into his busy schedule. So there's definitely ways of doing it. And sometimes it takes sacrifices, guys, right? Sometimes you have to wake up a little bit early. I remember when Keely was doing this, she was getting, I don't know what time she was getting up, at like 5 or 4 o'clock or something to watch her classes. Sometimes, you have to make sacrifices for your long-term goals. They're not comfortable. I don't like getting up early, but I've started to. Ever since I got off Facebook, man, I've been so much more productive. So like I've been getting up at 5 o'clock and just meditating, getting my day started. And I feel so much better. I feel so much more clarity. So,
Yeah, thank you, Tamara. I will do that. I'll reach out to you.
Cool. All right. So let me just, sorry, I haven't been going over, let me just read, not actually setting the goals. I feel so overwhelmed. Okay. With COVID and full-time remote learning for my youngest and being new, just joined a wonderful group last July. So my classes are top plus the business we bought 3 years ago. Trying. I need to do Sunday schedule. Okay, I don't, Autumn, it might be easier if you come off mute. So to verbalize that. We have 1 more minute. I want to make sure we, but feel free to come off. Yeah, you're so welcome, everyone. Feel free to come off, Autumn. But I'm sure, I don't have kids yet, but if I had kids during COVID, I don't think it would drive me to a new level of insanity, but like it just seems like a lot when I talk to my friends. But let's break down, Autumn. Let's break down what you just wrote. I feel so overwhelmed with COVID. Instead of saying I feel so overwhelmed, let's change your words. First of all, let's say there's so many new opportunities with COVID. Because COVID. I've been out of a loop in life in terms of what's going on with COVID these days, but I don't think it's going away overnight. We've been in this COVID environment for over a year now. We all should have been a little bit, we should be adapted a little bit to what's going on. So let's change your words to start out. I feel there's so many new opportunities with COVID that I have to get used to. We bought 3 years ago, trying to get into. Autumn, can you come off mute? Sorry, it's like a lot to break down, but.
Sorry, no, I was just saying, like, just feeling overwhelmed in general, like life, right? And then I found this group last July during COVID, so I was like lucky to be home with my kids because our daycare closed, but we had bought I bought a job. We started a business 3 years ago, trying to do property preservation, trying to get into real estate somehow. And, just seems totally overwhelming trying to take my classes and do life,
All right. So let's back that up for a second. There's a lot of stuff in the beginning that you have to get used to. I get it. I remember feeling like, oh my goodness, like where do I start applying stuff? So what I would say is, first of all, it all comes back to your goals, right? What are your goals? What are your immediate goals with Renatus? Is it getting 5-star qualified? Is it getting a house? Like, what are your immediate goals? And then, what are your immediate goals? Let's start with that.
So for immediate goal is to try to get a HELOC. I got to call some banks or credit unions and try to figure out who's offering the best rates and what's going to work for us. That's our immediate. Doing our taxes and stuff this year, we were late because I didn't really know anything about it. This was our first year filing because we actually had some income or revenue. And HELOC is our next goal.
What do you feel overwhelmed about? And take that word out. I will, because when you kind of disable yourself, when you use the word overwhelm, instead of say, like, think of how you're saying, when you say, I feel overwhelmed, you feel it. Like, again, it goes back to that book that like you're sending your own energy. You're telling your body, when you use that kind of language, that's how you feel, right? It's not a good energy. It's not the kind of energy, like, do you want to project that energy onto yourself? What feels better? I'm overwhelmed, or I have a lot of opportunities?
Yeah, definitely saying I have more opportunities or an abundance of opportunities feels better
Exactly.
than saying overwhelmed.
Careful. Yes. So be careful the words you use, because it really, your words are powerful, right? Your words are very powerful. And this book is a very big eye opener as to how powerful your words are. So you always want to make sure you're projecting the right energy. So what is it? What is the problem? Break it down. What is the challenge that you're having? What are you feeling overwhelmed with? Just all the opportunities, not knowing where to start.
Yeah, I guess not knowing where to start.
And when I meant goals, like like getting a HELOC, okay, but what are your goals with Renata's? Why did you join Renata's? And we'll wrap it up if you guys have to go, but I just want to finish this.
Yeah, I haven't, I guess, even started with really writing anything down. Going through like the 10 steps with Bob Snyder in the beginning, making my story, like my origin story and my dreams. I guess I just haven't really written it down. They're in my head still.
Okay, but you're still not answering me. Why did you join Renata's? What was your goal? Why did you join Renata's?
I wanted to learn how to do real estate, like fix and flips.
Why?
I want a chicken farm, like Scott Rowe said in his intro presentation that I watched, was like having that time freedom. Really, I want time freedom to be able to spend time with my family and not have to go to my job.
Okay, so your part of your goal with Renata's is to oh shoot, we're gonna have to go to the dream call. Is so you can so how do you, and if you don't have your goals written down, that's the first step. If you don't have your goals written down, you're going to be pulled in every different direction, right? So my suggestion to you is get very, very clear on your goals, and it'll help you not feel so overwhelmed, right? Get very clear, write them down. Like, I look at my goals every single morning, and it gives me and then it helps me set the intention for the day. I know everything I do is intentional, and it's not always like that. Trust me. Some days I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like doing this, but we're human. But because I write my goals down, even when I have those tough days, I'm still doing them. But what I gathered from you, Autumn, is you have to get a lot more clear on your goals and why you're doing things and what you want for being here, right? You want the time freedom, but now, so let's work backwards with that. You got to break that down a lot more. So how are you planning on getting the time freedom, right? Is it going to be through getting 5-star qualified? Is it going to be through, you have to get very, very specific with your goals, or you're going to feel like, you're going to be all over the place. Does that make sense?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe, yeah, okay, you're welcome. Cool. Well, we are 6 minutes over. It's been so fun. I always love hanging with you guys. If there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a beautiful week. And if, again,
Tamara,
yes.
Just a quick one before everybody goes. Reminder, today's the profits bonus at 9:30, so it's on in 25 minutes.
Awesome. Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Cheers, everyone. Go have a good week.
You're amazing, Tamara. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Tamara.
See you later.
Welcome.
Awesome
Thank
call.
you again.